Here we are back with the 7th build installment of the Main Street USA by LEGO Disney. This is set number 43302, contains 3,899 pieces, retails for $399.99, and this set was provided by the LEGO Group for review. Thank you, LEGO, and that's essentially what we are working on today. And that's what we've done so far, which is pretty much the first floor with the interior. And overall, I'm pleased with the play features, but the build quality and the scratch pieces are kind of destroying the set here. We're down to pretty much a 6 now just due to scratched parts. But the build experience is really good. It's really good, so that's even better. So in this installment, and today is the 24th of June 2025, we're going to do bags 19, 20, and 21. Okay. Respectively, of course. And that's where we're going to go with that. And I don't know if I'm going to wrap this one up tonight or not. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I got to do the legal stuff first. So these videos are not to be construed or considered as professional product reviews, how-tos, or tutorials. These are just merely my notes for the review. In addition to that, this is not a job. This is just my fun time to kind of get away from reality. So, no, just don't consider these as my job. And the wording and the verbiage and the content in here is mine and mine alone, except for that these were provided by the LEGO Group for review. I have to say that. That's just only fair because they provided this to me. I just have to deal with it. Or do it. And lastly, do not re-upload or redistribute my content without my written permission. You can share the video links. I'm fine with that. Just don't re-upload it and claim it as your own work or whatever. That's not cool. You don't want to do that. It just makes my life even more boring, and I have to do all that extra paperwork, which is never fun. Well, let's begin. Let's build it. This is going to be bag 19. Doesn't feel all that heavy. Maybe we might get away with this one here really cheap today. Well, oh, no. We'll be here for 25 minutes doing that. I'm hoping to get at least this installment and another installment done. And the reason being is, boy, the main bag didn't have anything in it. Because I'm going to film another set after this. And this week is just getting worse and worse and worse, and it's only Wednesday. I only got one more day. So I just got to survive. This is more or less like an evening build. I don't know, I may do one for tomorrow and just wrap this one up. Yeah, it's all little stuff today, folks. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. And let's see here, before I get into today's topics. Yeah, so we're still working on interior stuff, so let's get going here. In fact, it doesn't really matter at this point. This stuff's already small as it is. So we're right in this area here. Okay, so I'm editing I think it's part 5 of this with the avatar in the corner. And I'm going to be blunt honest with you. It's taken a long time to edit that video, so I'm probably not going to do that anymore, these longer videos. I think I'm going to save that strictly for avatar, strictly for, trying to get the words out here. It tells you I'm getting tired. For valuable videos like tutorials and maybe shorter videos and stuff. So I've been kind of thinking about just doing that. It'd be a lot easier if I bought myself a mask and did it, huh? So I'm going to lay out the process that I have to do it in. So of course, I got to film the video, of course. You know, I got to do that. And after I film the video, I have to send it to my computer. Now, so far it's not too bad. It doesn't sound like it's that hard. Then I have to shadow file the video. Still, same steps. Then I drop it, all into the editor, and then I edit. Like usually these have 3 sections. I edit the first section out. After that, things change. It really does. Because after that, and I think this is some kind of railroad track or something. I don't know what this would be for. But after that, guess what happens? Guess what happens? You can only guess. That's where the anime character begins. It's not easy like I thought it was going to be. Because what happened is when I put my character in there, I have to port the audio from this microphone to my anime character's mouth, have it lip sync to it. That sounds like I can just automate that, but I can't. Now, the reason why I can't is I'm missing a jumper plate here. No, I'm just kidding. Because the animation also requires head movement. Now, I can keep my avatar's head static, but that's not fun. I mean, nobody wants to look at just some stiff-headed cartoon in there. No blinking eyes or nothing. So I got to thinking, well, I'll just turn on the webcam and move the head and just act out some of the parts. It's not too terribly bad. But then, after I did that, I had a bit of a problem. I was getting everything to work, but I managed to get it to work. You have to get the voice synced up and all that stuff. So you have to record another video on top of that with the existing audio. And it can get pretty involved. And at this point, this technology really is meant for live streaming. It's not really meant for pre-recorded videos like that. Not to say that it's impossible. It's just going to take some time. And I thought it would be easy. It's easy for short stuff, but for long stuff, not too much. Okay, now I'm moving on to here. So, if you like the avatar and you guys really like it, I'll probably put it in shorter videos. Like if I was doing a bag each time, it wouldn't be a big deal. It's just time consuming. So this is the first time I really have done a non-linear editing style. I kind of honestly say it's not easy. It looks good. So this video here will most likely probably not have it until I can think of something else. But if you guys like it, well, now we'll know. And if you don't like it, let me know too, because it's got to work both ways. You know, we're all kind of into this together, and it's just added eye candy, that kind of thing. So for me, to set that whole thing up, to get it working, it just takes time. It takes a lot of time. I don't know what we're doing here. What is this? And we got a little oh, it looks like a car or something. So I'm just testing things out right now with the avatar. That means now I may just do the intro in the video, talk about what I'm doing, and then just insert him in. You know, so it's not like I don't want to spend literally hours upon hours on editing, because well, okay, this city quality stuff here, Lego's really kind of bad. Alrighty, so that just kind of sits like that. That's a really steep thing, and this is supposed to be like a mine cart or something. Got it right here in this corner. Oh. Okay, it goes like that in there. So yeah, don't rub up against the wall. That's annoying. But yeah. Okay, now it looks like we're moving on to another small building here. Yeah, sometimes I think it's a good idea and it's not. I mean, I didn't have anything beforehand, and two, if I'm doing a let's build it type video, I really don't want the videos to be too distracting. So, but I want to know your honest opinions though. I could just introduce him at certain times of the video, which would be okay. I can do that sometime. Maybe have them into that, and once we start building, than just go back to the hand thing. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out yet. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning all this stuff. It's not hard. It's just I just don't have time to really learn anything new. My brain is more or less broken right now. So at least I can say I tried it. It'd just be easier if I had a video camera here to do face video, but well, somebody messed that up. So I'm thinking about just I'm thinking about that mask more and more. I'll have to talk with my bunch on Discord and see what they think about it. I think it'd be kind of a I think it'd be kind of funny to do that. It would really be hilarious just to kind of I bet if I get a mask and I have to drop the coin into it, I better use that stupid thing, I'll tell you that much. I do have a Pikachu mask, but I'm trying to avoid any licensed characters. Okay, I am looking for a one. Oh, that's a transparent. I was like, I can't find any. So yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for words here, what I want to do. Okay, so they use that for a door. All right. And then this goes right here. Yeah, it's not a bad little house. And that goes up right on these jumper plates here. Whoops, you can't see where I put that at. That's the bad thing about doing these. So I set this house right here. I'll pop that off. See, it goes right on in there. Yeah, sometimes that happens. That's why I can't guarantee these as tutorials, because, you know, things like that happen. So now I know that it is possible. It's just, it's very, very time consuming. Very time consuming. I just better hope I have that in the right place. Now I could just leave the expressions turned off and just have him just, he could still blink his eyes, his head won't move, and he'll just be there talking the whole time. I can do that and put it on auto, and I can just walk away and do something else. But do I really want to do that? I mean, I don't really want to just, you know, I think the best thing to do is maybe put him in the intro and maybe at the final of the video or something. But like this here, he takes up this corner of the screen, like right there. And if I'm working here, that's going to be a problem. So I think if I do anything, I'm just going to use him just maybe as an intro to the video, and then we'd start on the build. Okay, now we got to work on this. I think it's another house. Yeah, I hope somebody doesn't start cussing up a storm, because I don't want to deal with it. Some people want to take off. They'll work like a month and they'll take off 2 months, and then they complain that they don't have any money in their pockets. Trying to hit up old Jay for that, and I'm like, oh no, you're gonna have to work like everybody else. You know, I don't get that sometimes. You know, it's like, just, I don't want to work. I mean, honestly, if I was retired right now, I would do this stuff full time. I can't. I'm looking for, oh, there's one. But some people have said, you sound kind of stressed out. Yeah, I get like that from time to time. Right now I sound kind of angry because, you know, just personal issues, you know, I'm trying to avoid. But you know how some are there. I decided to take a 2 months sabbatical off my job. Can you give me money? And I'm like, no, you're gonna have to go back to work, dude. Sabbaticals are only for people who are in the research stuff, and two, you can't afford to take a sabbatical. You just don't take one. Sabbaticals are mostly like an extended vacation to let your mind reset. basically into research, teaching, and all that stuff. And I've only taken maybe one off in maybe two in my whole lifetime. That's when I realized vacations are very important. To let your mind cool off, let it just debug for a little bit. So I don't know what that is there. Oh, it's the Disney castle. That's what that is. Maybe I shouldn't have spoiled it. I'm a party pooper. Yeah. But I'm just kind of more or less now like, done. Oh man, but you know, and I told my friend about the mask deal, and she kind of laughed at me about it. Why would you want that and stuff? And I thought in the back of my mind, don't say it about, well, it's better than sitting around doing nothing around at home. At least I can get on here and make a fool of myself on YouTube. Okay, except I got that piece there upside down. Boy, this thing's really brittle. Like today I was, right after I got done with part 6 of this, I was working from home and I had to send a bunch of stuff up. It took about an hour and the internet was pretty much bogged down. Why is the internet slow? Because I'm working? Oh, but why? Can you make it go faster? I'm like, no, I'm doing some stuff right now. You're going to have to wait. You know, that kind of thing. The famous Sleeping Beauty castle, which was inspired by West Castle in Bavaria, opened in 1955 along with the first park, has become an icon of Disney brand globally. I can't even pronounce that word there. Mushawash. I can't even speak today. Maybe I shouldn't even try, huh? So it looks like in this bag we're just doing micro builds, and we've been here now for almost 20 minutes, and we still got a good chunk of parts here. So this is going to be a very lengthy build. I'm trying to think of some new stuff to build right now. Like I said, I got 6 more tutorials left to finish for the year. I already got the vehicles kind of planned out a bit. I just need to get on them. Well, at least we get a red roller skate. Roller Boogie Boy. But I've been watching too much of that Summer School movie. Anybody remember Summer School, that movie? They always made Summer School, or no, Breakfast Club was even better. Growing up in the 80s, it was something about it, you know, was so magical. And now we don't even have any of that stuff now. It's all pretty much boring. I gotta put our roller skates on the bottoms. Looks like we're just making some little train. Or, you know what, it could be the fire engine. But no, that's a train there. Where does that go? Okay, that goes on the 2 plates here. Yeah, so far, I mean, it's got detail. I'm not gonna lie there. It's just what it is. The Rebel was inspired by Walt Disney's lifelong love of trains. Okay, well, got another train lover here. Not that I dislike trains. I need to build a custom train one day, you know, just to kind of take a stab at it like every other thing I've been wanting to do. Yeah, every time I kind of just, like, I want to crawl back here and just build something, then I kind of get yelled at for it. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, sometimes I just miss living alone. Would I trade it? No, but when you got a kid that kind of disrespects you, you just kind of deal with it. So it looks like we got our train there. But no, we're not done yet. No, we got more to do. See, I could put the figure in there and just kind of do some quick animations and drop them in there instead of just doing the whole thing. I'm thinking of just doing that instead. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Or just buy a mask and wear it and then just do the same thing. But I was watching one of these videos. They were dressed up in kigurumi. And what were they doing? They were talking in their mask, right? And I kid you not, folks. I literally kid you not. I could barely understand this gal. I mean, I think it was a gal, I don't know. When they're dressed up, you have no clue. It sounded like she was talking in a tin can. You know how they're... remember back in the pandemic where everybody had to wear those stupid masks? Where we had to wear them? Let me put this on here to be a little easier, and I'll bring it up to you when I'm done. It was like this. You know, it was like this. And I can understand her up to a point, but I just thought... But of course... those masks are fun. Nobody wants to go back to the pandemic again. So yeah, I got to really think long and hard before I jump into something that But as far as for the mascot, I've been kind of tinkering around though. I really want to get a mascot going on this channel. Okay, since Lego has not been liking too much of the sig fig stuff, so I got to come up. I already got a brand name for things. So this will be my sister channel here of my main. Or maybe the daughter channel, we don't know. Okay. So that's what we have there. I'm not sure what that is. But this goes right there. Lined up with that tile. Okay, that makes it easier. If you think we're done with micro builds, no, we got a lot more parts. Oh, Jay, you're gonna have to survive this. I know. I wish I could. I wish I could have face video. I could be like, we got more stuff to do. Like, really? There's more? Why can't there be less? You know, I mean, I'm not a fan of micro builds at all. It does add a little bit more character, but I really just don't want to do this thing today. But oh yeah, Rent-A-Girlfriend's on tonight. I gotta watch that. If anybody's into anime, I doubt anybody in here is. I gotta watch that and see how well, see how bad Kazuya messes up today. I almost said a bad word, naughty word. He just needs to grow up and ask Chizuru out, but no, he won't do it. He's scared. Of course, what guy has never been scared to ask a girl? And yes, I've been rejected before. It's part of life. But now as an adult, you get rejected, that means just another door opens up. That's why I have a girlfriend I've known for 15 plus years. Okay, it looks like we just got some kind of a... Oh, don't you dare fall off. So we got this little flower bit. It looks like it goes right in here. Just be careful not to break that. Okay, so you got the waterfall. Surprised the waterfall ain't going to rain on the cashier's head. Yeah, we're getting close though. We just got one more item left to build, which looks like a sandwich or something. Maybe somebody threw the sandwich up there. Maybe one of the kids did it. We're going to have a lot of spare pieces here. But you know, at least with these style of builds, I can share my build experience with you. I can share my thoughts and opinions with you. And, you know, just like with any community, our community's, you know, inclusive. You're more than welcome to join. I mean, Yeah, that's kind of cool. What the heck is that? It goes right here. Submarine, maybe a boat, trolley. I don't know, but we have a lot of parts here remaining. So let's take a look here for bag 19. One way to tech, usually anything that's 1x1s, usually give you one a piece. So if you have one a piece here, that's a lot. Now, what do you do with pieces like this, Jay? What do you do with these? I put them in my collection. They go back in my own parts, so I can use them for other things here. But I don't see what we're missing. Yes, those roller skates will come in handy, so I hoard those. That's a lot of spare parts for bag 19. I mean, it's probably going to take me at least 10 minutes to pick all those up. But yeah, I mean, that's not too bad so far. Alright, now we're moving on to bag 20. And the camera moved. I was trying to hit the record or the stop button. It just did not want to press down. See, window frames, we're going to have to do a part inspection, so I got to note that right now. Yeah, I mean, I just wish the quality of the don't roll off. I just wish the quality was a little better on this. I'm kind of disappointed. And you know, I get that question sometimes. Jay, you're really hard. Or sometimes they say I fake the content. No, you come on here, you can see the content for real. Okay, that's not too bad. We can keep that. Put that right there. What about this one here? I got to put it off the camera so I can see it. Yeah, that one's fine. You know, that's okay. We can survive with that. Just dust. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. That's pretty good. So we got pretty much 3 for 3, but I see a bunch of window frames. So let's make sure here that that's all we have for part inspection. It looks like there is. Oh no, we got the other 2 here. If I can pick them up. Always rub them because sometimes it's just dust. If it moves around, it's most likely dust. This looks like we got ourselves another part guest. I mean, it comes with a nice selection of minifigures, but I don't think these minifigures are going to be what's going to sell this set, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be, let's see what we're doing here. Okay, let's just do it. I just noticed we have gray hands. Ooh. Oh, alright. So we got, looks like this gentleman here's, oh, it's got 2 sides to his head. Now, when I do the review, I probably won't even remember all this. Boy, these really come with a lot of these Snorlax ears. That's what I'm going to call them. Oh, it's a gal. I thought it was a boy. That still could be. Some of these guys today, they have hair longer than a gal. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I did too, but you know, I just stick that in her brains there. Sometimes I can't tell. Like maybe a teenager or something, and she's got a bloom. We'll take a closer look at her in a second. I guess in California today we had like a 5-point-something earthquake, and they said it did some damage, but of course where I'm at, earthquakes are very far and few, and when we do have them, I think the biggest earthquake I've ever been into is like a 6-point-something. It's enough to get you a little riled up for maybe 30 minutes, and after that it's like old news, nobody cares. Yes, this house has survived that. Haven't had any damage, so that's even better, and that's our minifigure. Looks like we got ourselves another part guest today. That's not too bad at all. Okay, now we're heading back to the main model here. Now, what happens if I scratch this glass after I... That's my fault. Alright, so now we are going to focus our attention right in this corner here. So we still have a good chunk of stickers left, but I'm hoping to kind of get them done here. I don't want to do stickers, but they're there, so we're going to have to do them. Yeah. But I do know that when I did the avatar and the gaming, it actually worked fairly well. Oh, we're really boy, this doesn't look good. I hope there's something that's going to hide that Lego, and that's going to be kind of yucky. But the avatar works very well for gaming, so I may use him just for the gaming. I haven't had time to even do that. I finally booted up 2 videos on my gaming channel, and I finally just got that working, and I thought, I got to think of something for that. I just haven't had the time to really get into it because I've been busy with work-related stuff. Okay, now we're building some columns here. Well, a column. Yeah, if I haven't gave you a heart or even responded to your comment, I'm sorry, I have not had time. Dealing with work, personal issues, all that stuff, I'm worn out. I literally am, and by the time I get to doing the comments, can you help me do something? You're like, okay, you know what's going to happen. So it's just kind of, that kind of thing. So yeah, looks like we're just working on the second floor walls today, and I like this cool yellow. Just don't have enough of it, so when I find it, I hoard it. I mean, nothing wrong with hoarding colors. And then now we got to take one of our pristine windows. What am I saying? I never say that word. We got pristine windows here. They're not scratched. I like the green window frames. I don't know what I'd use them for, but it's a color that we normally don't use in building stuff with Lego anymore. At least it's not white. Okay. And that goes there. Okay, well, I survived that far. I'm doing pretty good tonight. Yeah. So now we're going to start working on an official mascot for this channel, as well as for all my brand. So everything's going to get kind of worked together. Okay, now I want to focus my attention here because now I'm going to do the main window that goes above the door. That's where I think it goes anyway, so we're going to start right here. Means now I can zoom in and then we can do that. I miss being in my 20s. I want to sit at home and do nothing and play video games. When I was in my 20s, I had to work. That was not fun. Sad day for Jay, you know. Now, kind of glad because it built up the career that I have. I have a college degree, double majored, and just I can't really say living the dream. Maybe I am living the dream. I don't know. All I know is when I was in grade school, even in high school, I was like, oh, college is for nerds. Why would I want to do that? Okay, why would I want to do that? I did it. Why did I want to do it? I don't know. I just did it. I did it, and it was not... Parts of college were fun. Some parts of it I could have left behind. It was just... it was more or less just... like... But I'll tell you one thing, though. I kind of wish I'd paid attention in biology, because that would have helped me with the 3D graphics. I have to learn about bones and all that stuff myself just to make my animation work and come to life. So kids, if you want to do animations, take your biology courses, because I'll tell you, some people are talking about to make a certain bone move in the wrist. I'm like, what? I'm kind of lost here. So now I know exactly. I'm just going to put all the glass in these right now. The reason being is because, well, we're going to do that. Let's just do it all now. You know, that kind of thing. We had homemade lasagna tonight for dinner, which is really good. So I am full, ready to go. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, though, I'd like to get this booger done here tonight, if I can, and just be done with it here. Okay, there's our window so far. But no, we're not even done yet because we got more stuff to put in here. So we got to make 2 columns. Now, remember in my other one, I say just slap them on there because we don't care how crooked these are on because we're going to use a brick separator or something to flatten those back out. And my fingers are starting to get a roll here. Yeah, speaking of that, I got those stinking sets coming in I don't want. I was telling my mom about it, and she's like, why don't you just donate them? I said, I'm not allowed to. And so, in other words, I may as well just make my shop then. Well, no, I should just send them off to the Island of Misfit Toys. They're just not misfits. I'm just not interested in them, or I would. Is that a bad word I hear? Instead of doing that, you could be out in the yard helping me with weeding today. Because I had to pull a little bit of this. I've been trying to get rid of all this nut grass that I've been getting, and I'm just like, oh, I've been going out there with a little pick, just pulling it out. I really want to get the lawn looking really good. So we got to make 2 of these now. So you know what that means? I'll be busy doing that. But I think next week we're going to be in the 80s or 70s or something like that. So I will be taking advantage of that. Yeah, I'd say this thing's got some... this is like a wannabe modular here. Now, one of you did point out in the comments that you said that it might be Disney that told them not to make a modular out of it. That's possible. That's possible. They could have said that, too. I'm missing a hollow stud. I mean, I don't have one up here. I bet it's... I got a couple of these things. But that is possible, though. Not in the bags. Oh, no. Let me check over here. Let me check in the spare parts bin. Yeah, always keep your parts in a bin because you may need them in case something misses or you put something in the wrong place or something like that. If it turns up, then oh be it. I got millions of those. Those used to be very rare, not anymore because I got a lot of them. But yeah, I mean, it's just yeah, everybody's got their own opinion on a Lego set. For me, I mean, this was $200. You got it for a steal, but $400. I'm looking at the quality of the build, and it's averagely priced. You know, it's averagely priced. It's just it's averagely priced. It's just what we're getting here. You're getting a lot of small parts. If it was printed, it would probably get a higher score. Stickers are pretty easy, so I'm not dinging off stickers just yet, just basically due to packing. So right now we're still holding at a 6. Now mind you, I still got another bag to do after this. So I'm hoping that's going to go quick. I'd like to get this thing done. And now we got to put this onto this. Alright, that's got to go there. Right there. Alright. Wait, it's like the game operation. We don't want to touch the sides or go. I mean, it looks good, doesn't it? That looks really good. That looks really good. I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay, but we're not done yet. We still got some stuff we got to build here. We got to make 2 little items here, and I'll just run across them here. So you got to do this, and then you got to stick this at the bottom here, and then these go here. Here. That. Look at that. Nice little decorations. It's just simple stuff like this. I got tons of these little pieces. Don't be stealing out of this one. Jay, you're taking a lot of ideas out of here. Well, yeah, you know what, guys and gals? You get ideas from me. I get some ideas from Lego. And I just have to put them together here and be done with it. You know, matter of fact, I do have a job that I can give my nephew. Change the air filter in the air condition. That's when I think I forgot to change it. I always try to change them every month because they'll get clogged real easily. And yeah, I don't. If you restrict your airflow, you just burn up your compressor, and that's never fun. I mean, I've only been without air one time, and only because the relay up on the air condition completely got shot, and you know, the thing from the thermostat that controls to turn on the blower and stuff like that. It was the compressor outside would turn on, but not the blower in the house. So at that point, the air conditioner was icing up, and we didn't know about it for a few hours. And we're just like, there's no. You hear it on, but there was nothing blowing out. So, and I thought, oh great, I don't want a bad blower motor. Because that right there would not be fun to change. I've changed them out before and they're not fun. That I don't mind hiring somebody to do. Okay, now we're doing more columns here. I mean, who doesn't like changing their blower motors? Mine, I'm thankful, it's easy to get to. You just open up the panel and take out a few screws and it slides right on out of there. It's convenient. But I went a step further and replaced mine. I put some of that rubber gasket around it, and it's real quiet. The only thing I can't do is charge the system, so if I have a problem, I just let the air condition guys deal with that, because I don't have I have to have a special license, I guess, to mess with that stuff. And I thought, well, I don't want to stick refrigerant in there anyways. That would not be something I'm willing to tackle on my own. Jay, are you do-it-yourselfer? Yes. Just like I was talking about that masker, I thought I already got the plastic machines and stuff, and I mean a 3D printer and stuff. I could just form my own up and be done with it. Yeah. I use that machine strictly for doing the vintage stuff, but it wouldn't bother me using it for that there. We have a shaft. I don't remember using it for anything. Oh, we did with the gal with the balloons. Looks like we got one apiece. I didn't see that. Oh yeah, there's that hollow stud right there. So we do have that. All right, so we weren't missing a part. And that's what we have remain there for bag 20. And so far, it's looking pretty good. Alright, I think we're going to wrap up with bag 21, and while I'm setting all this up, I want to thank everyone on my main channel and Patreon for being contributors. That's a big help, because you make it happen. I don't use that money to buy cars, I don't use that money to buy groceries or anything like that. It just goes for just strictly for anything related to this hobby, and I can share with you. Okay, it just goes strictly for that. And thank you everyone for taking the time to check out my Rebrickable, downloading building guides, all that stuff. It tells me you have interest in it, and I want to make more. Okay. And lastly, if you like my demeanor and how I do things, feel free to subscribe. This channel is always going to be here, so, you know, like I mentioned, don't need to steal any videos, just they're going to be here. Don't worry about it. Nothing's missing or anything like that. So I try to make this, you know, everybody can chime in and stuff like that. Now I got to make 7 of these, and I've been obtaining so much of this light nougat color, I don't even have to buy these anymore. So yeah. Okay. And oh yeah, you have to kind of offset there a little bit. Hey, you know, when I was like, when they brought these out here, I was like, can I use these for anything? And I'm just like, yeah, I used to think about I could just use them for porch lights. Wait a minute, no, no. I could use them for putting porch lights, but here they're using these with the console bricks, or the decorative bricks right here. So now we got a little bit more character. So you're going to need 7 apiece. Oh, wow, I forgot to put that one in the corner because it had a little arrow in the book that shows you that. That's what confused me. Naughty Lego, you made me mess up my TV show now. That's why I got to get a mask or something to hide my face. I don't want people. I don't want to go out in public and people go, "Oh, look, it's Jay, the guy that keeps messing up in his YouTube videos and made me mess up building my set." And I got all mad and angry at him. I don't know. Yeah, it's not really sturdy on the top. But we've got hit hard with all these little parts. It's like everything's all wiggly and falling apart. It's extra wiggly. It's for entertainment. Oh, there's another piece of glass we forgot to inspect. Oh, Lego, ouch. I gotta show you guys that when we get to it. Oh, I'll do it. Let's do it after we get this step here done. That is so mangled up. I don't know what they were thinking that we'll have to drop that down, but right now we're still at a 6. Jay, you're really hitting hard, and you know you want to talk about hitting hard. We're going to do it hard on this thing, and I'll tell you, if it's this quality of the way that they're doing stuff here, I'm not too pleased with it here. Making sure here. So far, it's looking pretty good. We got to end at this corner here, so that's. I think I just put this right here right now. I've already got 7 of those. What I call the fence post. Okay. Yeah, and it's just you know, just doing stuff like this and sharing my experience with you guys and gals. I enjoy doing these. If I didn't like doing these, I would just skip all this and do the review and watch a cartoon. I'd watch a movie. In fact, there's a movie that I wanted to watch I hadn't seen in years called oh God, I can't even think of the name of it. Not The Exorcist. The Entity. It was back in 1982. I want to watch it again, so I found it on YouTube. You know. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys something here, and I didn't think this stuff would ever get scratched, but yeah, it does. Look at all those pits in there. I mean, it's like 2 or 3 pits, but still Lego. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and drop it down to 5. That's after that. The only thing that's going to save this set now is that it's multiple people can play with it. It's a playable model. That's probably the only thing that's going to save this set. You know, I'm going to have to just say that. So right now we're going to be at a 5 because right now there is play value with the set. It is a collaborative build. Those are already figured into the score. So at this point here, unless the set caves in totally, it's at a 5. I think at this point, if let's say the set started crumbling and stuff and just completely disintegrated, just kind of had a meltdown, it would be like a 3. Ooh, be very careful because these are going to go in crooked. You know why? That's how we roll here. So what I would do is I just take this and just kind of set that there, just kind of twerculate those. Like that. And then after that, we're not done yet. We got more stuff to put on there. We got to get one of those decorative bricks here. And then one of these. And just making sure I don't mess that up. I would have stuck round ones, but I'm not sure that's how the original building was. And then this goes right over here. So I'm not even going to touch those 2 tiles there because these are just kind of sitting in there. Well, we got that call. We just got a hole here left to fill in, but we got a lot of parts that we haven't done anything yet. You know, that kind of thing. I think of cool yellow, I always think of like my, ooh. Well, that's why I'm saying crumbly, crumbly. 5.5 it is. This building quality starting to lack here really bad. I've been kind of holding off on that, but now it's getting pretty toasty. The cool yellow reminds me of what my grandmother's house. Her house was like painted with that on the outside, which was really cool with the white trim, and it just had that grandma vibe to it and stuff like that. Okay, I was hoping all the windows in this one, or at least would have been in this round, would have been non-scratch, but we got to have that one oddball that's going to drag the score down. Wow, wow, wow. In fact, when I was getting up to go to work, my nephew was still up, and I just thought, man, don't you sleep? He sleeps all day. When I got home, he was in bed, and I just thought, man, I want to lay in bed all day. Even on my day off, I can't even do that. And he was complaining about money or something. I just thought, well, you need to find yourself a job. Okay, now we're turning our attention here. Ooh, I felt that pop, kids. Old age. Oh man, my body's falling apart. That's a J. No, it's a backwards 7. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it goes like that. I noticed more Lego sets are getting these 1x1s, and it just, you know, I'm used to building things with more oomph, but, you know, I'm not sure what that's for. Probably just to stabilize it. Yeah, next to these. Yeah, I think this is a really nice set. I think it's just overpriced. At least I'm honest here with you folks. I'm not going to lie to you. We don't lie here. We tell the truth. We say how it is, and if it's a good build, I mean, I'm sure somebody who's going to get this, you're going to have a little bit of fun with it. I'm not going to say it's a bad build. It's just, I just think for the price of this, I could have gotten 2 modulars. I don't think they even make modulars under $200 anymore. Remember the cafe corner? I thought 150 was a lot back then. Kind of want to go back to this place. Why can't I pay $150 for that? Or the green garage that you can't get because they got rid of that real quick. Now I think we have the suitable parts to finish up the green grocer. Okay, now it looks like we are putting plates on here. We're getting to the home stretch. I think I may just do the rest of it tonight and just do the roof and be done with it, just to kind of get it out, get it out of here, get the whole thing done, and that's it. I thought about just reviewing sections, but I'm going to probably just review it all in one sitting. I think that would be better. But I've had one person comment, says, dude, you sound like a strict parent. Oh, I'm pretty strict, all right. Of course, I hear, well, they don't like you if you're strict. And, you know, I'm first off, you know, just, it's just due to respect, and two, even if I had kids, I'm your parent, not your friend, you know. When we get older, it's a little different. Okay, what do we do when things don't fit? Wiggle it in. Just wiggle it. You've heard me say that a million times. If it doesn't fit, wiggle it. Wiggle. Just wiggle it in. That's the only way to get that to work. We still got a hole here. I don't think we're going to get to that. Because right now we're going to be doing more stuff up here. You can tell I'm getting a little tired. Matter of fact, I got to hop in the shower still. But I want to kind of get some of this done here real fast. Boy, this bag here, we got hit very hard with a lot of small stuff. I'm hoping the roof goes quick because I'm kind of getting pooped. I think it's just the micro builds, because when I do these, I don't know what's in the bags. I don't know what parts are, and I could just look and read ahead, but you know, sometimes I just don't do that. And once I get this section here done, I will review another, like a city or a friend set. We'll get that going real quick, and then we'll come back and work a little bit more on this. That's how I'm doing it now. I'm just kind of mixing up the big stuff with the little stuff, because it's just, the big stuff just takes so much time. And Lego, the sets I turned down, they were big sets, and I thought, I don't have any more time to do anything. I'm swamped. And they're just kind of ignoring me now. They're just still sending me stuff, so I figure that's on them. And you know, Jay, doesn't really matter. I mean, just be thankful. You know, I don't want to take more sets than I can deal with. You know. But sometimes it's like, if I'm not familiar with the theme, I don't want to do it because I don't know anything about it, and I'll get it from time to time. Well, Jay, you could just do research. Why don't you just do research on this stuff? You know, and I do that at my job. I don't want to do it while I'm doing this. That would not be fun. You know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Get this out of here today and be done with it. I mean, we're not even close yet. I mean, I've already been doing this now for yeah, I've already used half this memory card up, and we're not even done. So yeah, folks, I'm going to keep in class along today. We got hit with a bunch of small parts. It looks good. It's just a lot of small stuff here. Okay, and now it looks like we're working here. Maybe we are getting that done. So you got to put these facing away. Yeah, there was a story at one of our campgrounds not too far from here. I don't know what possesses people. Okay, so this one place, they have regular bathrooms and they have vault toilets, outhouses. This guy drops his sunglasses in the toilet, in an outhouse, right? What do you think this guy did? If I did that, even if it was prescription, I would just contact my doctor and get a new prescription to say I lost them. This guy climbs in there, climbs through the toilet to go in and get his glasses. He couldn't get on there to get the fire department out. I thought, dude, what's wrong with people? I wouldn't climb in there. I'm sorry, but no, nothing's worth that. I don't care if there was a Mr. Gold minifigure in there, I still wouldn't do it. Be careful, these are kind of just barely tacked in here. It's just like that. You know, I kind of wish they would have. I wish they would have just had somebody go in and film that. That'd have been a very interesting TikTok video. Somebody falling in the outhouse trying to retrieve even if it was a smartphone, no way. And I mean, a smartphone, I would have just had it locked down, but I would have called maintenance or something to get it. But even though I don't think I could use something like that if it fell in the potty like that. But I was just like, you're kidding me. Somebody crawled in one of those things. Somebody literally crawled in there, and I just thought, oh my goodness. It was like one of those outhouses where it had the vault in the back, and you had to unlatch it and stuff, and the guy just crawls through the toilet bowl to go down in and he got stuck. Couldn't get out because they have the backside of those things locked. I don't get it. I don't understand why people do those things. I wouldn't. Nothing's worth going in there and not telling what's in those things. You know? I don't understand that. So that's a good question. I should have it as a poll on here. Would you go into an outhouse to retrieve your sunglasses? I'd make a great mock, wouldn't it? Oh man, I'm so glad it wasn't me. I'm not that silly. I won't do that at all. Now the guy's gonna have a reputation of climbing down in the john to retrieve something that he won't. I mean, it made it worse than just saying I lost it. I need to get a new one. I don't care if there were $500 pair of glasses. No way in heck I'd do that. I'll tell you that much right now. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't even mess with that. I'm almost done here. Just a few more items here. And then that'll be it for this installment. I'm hoping the next one's going to be short because I'd like to do all the installments for this one here. But yeah, I guess it takes all kinds. So if you fell in the john, don't let anybody know you did. Oh, these tiles on the sides here, I'll show you here. This right here just wants to keep moving around here, like this. I don't know why we have these here. But yeah, you know, it takes all kinds, I guess, huh? And yeah, that's it for this installment. Not too bad at all. Summation of Thughts. And yeah, we survived up to that point. That's a good time to stop right there. And yeah, so far I'm pretty pleased with the build experience. This one's keeping my interest. Build quality just stinks. Well, it looks like we just got ourselves just something else to work on the top there. I don't think that's going to take too long. I only got 3 more bags. But you know what's scary? We're about 70, probably about 67, 65% done. The book. I got 22, 23, and 24. We still got a bunch of stickers. We didn't even touch these. I don't think we did. I kind of lost track. But I'm going to try to finish this thing up here because yeah, we're a long ways away from that. So I have a feeling it's going to take some time here. Did I already did her, or she was another one? Let me take a look here. But I mean, if you're interested in a set like this, hey, you know, kudos to you. If you're looking for something fun, this is one that you can share with the family. I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed with the build experience with this. Okay, so we started at bag 19. So yeah, there was no other minifigure. So she's not going to be here. So this is another part guest. I'll have them numbered, but yeah, I mean, I think it's not a bad one at all. It really is not. But I need to get in the shower. But yeah, it looks good. We still got a hole here. We got to finish this up. But I want to know what you guys and gals think so far of the Emporium.